you say Orange County, the first thing you think of is the beach, surfing, Disneyland. But some of the best hiking trails in Southern California come right from here. So you're going to check out 10 of them. Put on your hat, get on your shoes, join us. Come on. First up on the list is the Bolsa Chica Ecological Reserve Trail. It's one of the best wetlands trails, not only in Orange County, but the entire state of California. This 4.5-mile hike loops around different wetland ecosystems and has a storied and ongoing history about its repeated battles with developers. Make sure you check out the Bolsa Chica Interpretive Center located near the parking lot. This is not your mother's interpretive center. It's cluttered and funky, but a great primer on what's to come during the hike. This is a walk that I think works best when you really take your time. There's a ton of wildlife, especially birds, and the raptors swooping down around you is something that has to be experienced. There's no dogs allowed on this trail, but we've got just a ticket on our next stop. This next hike might not be the most traditional one, but it's definitely the best one, especially for your dog. The Huntington Dog Beach Trail is a 1.5 mile out and back stretch of beach where you and your dog can kick off your shoes and go off leash. It's got killer views of the Long Beach skyline and the Huntington Beach Pier, and this would be a great walk even on its own. But when you throw in a couple of mutts and all that water, you got a real party. Next up is Peters Canyon Loop Trail. It's a cool little 6-mile dog-friendly loop. You can take the hike in one big loop, or you can do it like we did as 2 smaller loops. Upper Peters Canyon, which is in Orange, and Lower Peters Canyon in Tustin. It features a lake and a eucalyptus forest and some really terrific views. This is a moderate hike with a lot of up and down, and you need to share the path with mountain bikes. But I think it's the convenient location that really makes this a go-to trail. Red Rock Canyon at Whiting Ranch Wilderness Park in Foothill Ranch is one of my very favorite OC hikes. Starting at the Borrego Canyon trailhead, it's a 4-mile, easy out and back hike that covers a couple of completely different ecosystems. The first part is along a creek bed that snakes through a very dense riparian forest, and the second half is Red Rock Canyon itself, which I can only describe as Sedonan, as in Sedona, Arizona. The only downside of this walk is you can't bring your dog, but if you're in the mood to shop after you hike, the Foothill Ranch Town Center Mall is directly across the street from the trailhead. We have a more detailed video on this hike. Just check out the link down below. This next hike is another one of my very favorites. 1,000 Steps Beach in South Laguna Beach is an out and back mile-plus hike along one of the most beautiful beaches in all of California. And hike is a relative word here because you could do this one barefoot. The 1,000 steps that its name refers to are the steps down and then back up from the water. In reality, it's more like 250 steps. They just feel like 1,000 because they're really steep. When you get down to the beach, head south and you'll come to the caves. The caves and tide pools there are spectacular and deserve to be explored thoroughly, so this hike is best served at low tide. The Fullerton Loop Trail is a solid OC urban hike. An 11-mile loop of dog-friendly overlapping trails that could be taken as a long, uninterrupted loop or in smaller pieces like the Winita Cook Trail, Hitchler Park, and the Bud Turner Loops, as well as the Castlewood and Nora Kuttner Loops. Super convenient. You can grab the trail from tons of locations along the route, but it officially begins at the North Orange Municipal Courthouse in Fullerton, and there's plenty of free parking there. It's 85% dirt and 15% sidewalks. The upside is there's a lot of different terrain to see, great views. The downside is some of it involves walking next to busy streets. Also, heads up for bike riders, although most of the path is divided, some of it isn't, so be aware. Laguna Lake at the Nora Kuttner Trailhead is a cool spot to chill. You can even fish there if you want, and it has a public restroom, which is the only one on the trail. One of the true Orange County hidden gems we found was Oak Canyon Nature Center in Anaheim Hills. This park contains several trails, the Bluebird, the Wren, the stream trails in particular, and is super accessible and really green. There is a heavily forested year-round stream that runs through the middle of it, and it's a great place to bring the kids. Still, it has hiking to offer even if you're looking for something a little bit more challenging. A great place for a little urban peace and quiet, and super convenient. Next on our list is the Back Bay Loop Trail, right on the border of Newport Beach, Costa Mesa, and Irvine. This is a 3-mile loop that is actually part of a longer 10-mile Newport Beach Back Bay Trail. The trail is dog-friendly and the outer portion is divided and paved if you'd like to take your bike. This is truly an urban oasis, so keep in mind that not all of the outside world gets shut out. It lets you know that you're in the city about every 4 or 5 minutes or so. You do have to put up with that. Also make sure to visit the Muth Interpretive Center. Lots of cool displays about the wildlife in the area there. Also, there's a ton of birds on this hike and long panoramic views of the wetlands. A really cool place to unwind after a long day or a long week. Black Star Canyon Trail is a fairly challenging out and back 7-mile hike that starts near where Santiago and Silverado Canyon roads meet. The first hour of the walk is a flat, picturesque, non-shaded road that winds its way to the Black Star Falls trailhead. From there, you work your way up along Black Star Creek, crossing the water at least a dozen times. This is a great trail, but be advised, the last quarter mile involves scrambling over wet, slippery boulders, so be careful. Take your time. The boulders are not impressed with how fast you make it to the top. If you do this hike in winter or spring, the water should be running, and although dogs are allowed, I would not advise it unless you plan lifting them over some of the rocks. Bring plenty of water and be prepared to get muddy and wet. All in all, a great and very physical hike that will have you saying, "Whew, I pooped." So here we are at the end of the list. Reef Point and Crystal Cove Trail is right on the border of Laguna Beach and Newport Beach. It's a stunning 5-mile loop that encompasses some of the best beach scenery in all of Southern California. Starting at Reef Point, walk north along the beach, and about a mile up is historic Crystal Cove. Make sure you take the time to poke around a bit. A lot of Orange County as well as film history to explore there. Another mile up or so, the beach trail ends at Pelican Hill, where you'll get a great panoramic view of the OC coast. You can loop back around on the bluffs or retrace your steps on the beach. This is an easy hike, the only moderation being the up and out stairs on the bluff. No dogs allowed on the beach portion, but you can walk them on the bluff trail above. All in all, a world-class walk. All right, so that kind of wraps it up. That's 10 of the best trails here and hikes in Orange County. If you like what you see, do us a favor, subscribe. You won't miss any of the hikes. Hit the like button. We really appreciate it. We love bringing these to you. If you have any ideas for hikes, let us know in the comment section below, and we'll try to do them. So I say to you, good luck, good hiking, good trails, and we'll see you later. Oh.